Nicolawmakes. It's been a while since I've last done a video for you, so I wanted to come back today, have a bit of a chat, explain kind of what's been going on. Obviously the world's been very uncertain over the last few months, and just show you I'm just back from a weekend at my mum and dad's. I've had a wonderful weekend, and I've really definitely got my crafting mojo back. I've started doing a bit more sewing again recently. So where do I start? Lockdown. The last video I did for you was right at the start of lockdown. I don't know if you remember me talking about I was struggling a wee bit with my anxiety. It's always a bit of a struggle. I was working full time and my husband was working, and we've got a 5-year-old who was then sent home from school, and I was very anxious about how I was going to continue to work. We didn't have any childcare, we've not got any family close by. So it was very uncertain time at the start of lockdown. Me and my husband got sent to work from home, and then a couple of weeks later my husband ended up on furlough. So again, we were a bit anxious about what might happen with his job, and the financial security that we've got at the minute. So I lost a bit of my kind of get up and go, a bit of my confidence, I would say. Definitely took a knock. I was working from home and homeschooling, and it was really difficult, as it has been for people up and down the country and around the world. This is a global pandemic. It's not just in the UK. Stephen went back to work, so we're obviously pleased about that. He's been back at work for a few weeks now, and Lewis has gone back to his childminder for a couple of days a week. And then the schools in Scotland go back on the 11th of August, so we've only got another 2 weeks of the school holidays left. So we're certainly starting to get to some semblance of normality, and I think things are a lot happier in our house as a result of that. I have been sewing bits on and off throughout lockdown, but I've just never really gotten round to photographing them or videoing them, to be honest. I've not had that motivation, and I've been so tired at the end of days. It's something that kind of fell off my priority list, but I'm back. And I'm raring to go. Me and Stephen and Lewis were on holiday last week. We were meant to be in Tunisia. Should have flown home this morning, but unfortunately that was obviously cancelled. So we went down to Reading for a few days. I've got family down in Reading, my granny and my auntie and uncle, and a few cousins down there. So we went down for a few days, took Lewis to Legoland in Windsor. He had a good time. For us, again, there's a lot of the anxiety around. There was a lot of people crammed in there. Social distancing wasn't as good as it could have been. Not everybody was wearing masks. We did actually complain, and to be fair, they've been absolutely wonderful. They've sent us some codes to go down and try again. So we'll certainly be going down, hopefully in the next month or two. We'll go back down again. A nice opportunity to see the family and have another shot at Legoland, and hopefully our view of Legoland will change. One of the things that I hate when I go away on holiday is having dirty washing in the same bag as my clean clothes. So I had whipped up this bag. It is literally just an open top bag, made of fat quarters, just to pop my dirty washing in. I think I will put a couple of snaps on the top just to seal it up, and that's what I did. And then we went to my mum and dad's this weekend, and my mum has just recently had a big birthday, and my dad bought her a cricut maker for her birthday. So one of the reasons we were always going to go over was so that we could sit and have a play with it and really get to grips with it together, learn how to use this machine. So one of the very first things we did was use iron-on vinyl, and we made a sign for the bag saying dirty washing. So this is now my dirty washing bag for when I go away. So that was all very exciting. One of the other things I made for going away, when we went away, was this packing cube. So it's got fat quarters in it at the minute because I've took them over to mum and dad's. I am a member of the online sewing club through Beautiful Things, BTHQ. You'll find our video, find our channel on here, and she's also on social media as well. So me and my mum are both members of that. And I'd seen these packing cubes that were one of the more recent projects in the sewing club. and gave it a go, and again it was really good. I'll be making quite a few more of them. They're really handy for putting things like your underwear in, or separate outfits for different days. Certainly when I'm packing for Lewis, it's things like that. It'll be really handy for. And then when I'm not on holiday, for things like storing my material, storing all my bits and bobs, haberdashery, stuff like that. Be really good for organising within the house. So on to this weekend and things that I've been doing with my mum this weekend. We've had a very, very busy and successful weekend. First thing was first, obviously we are now, in Scotland it's been in place for a couple of weeks, and in England it just came in last week that it's mandatory to wear face masks when out in public. So we used my mum's cricut maker to cut these face masks. I have used, so I made 3, I've only got 2 here because one of them's already in the wash. These are fat quarters that I got from the SewHayleyJane monthly subscription box that I subscribe to. These are actually meant to be like the dandelion leaves. I mean, you know, the ones that you, and they blow everywhere and you make a wish. However, my mum did point out it also looks a bit like the picture of coronavirus, so I'm a bit wary of wearing that out in public, see what reaction I get. Hopefully if anybody does think it's the coronavirus, then they'll just find it quite funny. I think it's quite amusing. So fingers crossed. We did quite a lot. I'm going to show you everything that we made over the weekend. A lot of it was like the stick-on plastic rather than heat vinyl plastic. I have got a nephew who starts school in a couple of weeks' time in Scotland, and Cooper doesn't speak. He's got special needs, and he's going through a diagnosis process, and it's been very tough for him, and it's obviously very tough for my sister as well. It's a very anxious time, but he will, obviously being in schools and stuff, they usually take water bottles anyway, but that's even more important now because they can't share things like cups and stuff because of coronavirus. So Cooper absolutely loves dinosaurs, so we used a dinosaur track font to put his name on it so that it can't get lost at school, and then we found this really cool dinosaur T-Rex skeleton which we popped on the back. So that will be, I'll take that. I'm seeing my sister, I'm going fabric shopping at the weekend with my mum and sister, so I'll take that over for Kirsty to give to Cooper for starting school. And Cooper has got a little sister, Emily, who is the biggest girly girl in the whole wide world, and she has a birthday at the end of September. So as part of her birthday present, we've made her a matching one to take to nursery. So again, it's got her name, Emily, on it, and it's got a wee unicorn. Now one of the lessons that we learnt with this was that because of the contours of the bottle, I don't know if you can see that wee fold in the vinyl there, just to be really aware when we're doing the placement. So it's a lesson, it's the first time we've ever done it, so we've learnt that lesson. We won't do it again, we'll be more aware of the placement. And we couldn't do it for my niece and my nephew without doing it for my wee boy Lewis. Lewis goes to football training every single week. We've got him a new football ball for going back. He's been back at football training for 2 weeks now. So again, it's just nice to get back to a bit of normality. Lewis had really, really missed his football training. Getting out with other children, doing a bit of exercise. There's been a lot of screen time over the holidays. If Stephen and I have been working, there's just no way we've been able to get around, as I'm sure many children up and down the country have had a lot of screen time, so it's nice for him to get out, get some fresh air, and have a really good workout. However, we bought a new water bottle for going back to football training, and somebody else has got the exact same one. Shouldn't be a surprise really, it just came from Tesco. So again, we use vinyl to make his name on it. You'll notice the W and the I are really close to each other. That's because when I was printing it all out, my spacing was off. I was too lazy, to be honest, to go upstairs and get my mum's measuring tape to see what distance I had here. And when I printed it off, had it all been the same spacing, then it wouldn't have fit on the water bottle. So again, another lesson. This weekend's been all about lessons and learning what we can do with the Cricut machine. And then we got a bit daft and started sticking stuff on everything. My little cousin Izzy is going away to university in a few weeks, so we've made her a nice water bottle. It's got a nice whale on the back of it. Wanted it to be a bit more grown up for her. Very, very proud of Izzy. So made that for her. And then again, we put stuff on everything, so I was just using an old coffee jar for my buttons, and we've made a button sticker for that. What else have we got? Now I'm hoping that Izzy doesn't watch this video. I don't think that she subscribes to my channel. I don't think she even knows I've got a channel. So for part of her going to university stroke, I might get put away for Christmas. We bought this little travel bag. It's got shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, that kind of thing in it. And we printed off this decal here, and it says "Beauty comes within this bag," and stuck it on the front. Izzy is a beautiful young lady. She's absolutely stunning. Does her makeup. She's just naturally beautiful. Everything about her inside and out is beautiful. So we thought that was a really nice saying, something to give her a wee bit of a boost. She'll be going away from home, so just wanted to give her a bit of a boost. I'm really proud of her. So hopefully she likes that, and hopefully she's going to come up and see me next summer when the Edinburgh Festival's back on for a wee weekend, a wee girly weekend. So it's all got stuff in it that can fit on the aeroplane. It's all nice sizes for the aeroplane. We made this little, just a bits and bobs box. One of the things we were trying, my mum has got access to the Cricut Access, so we wanted to try all the different fonts and stuff out, see what works for us in our house. You'll see I've got these new shelves and stuff behind me. So again, it's just looking for stuff that I can easily store my sewing stuff in. So that's that one. I've managed to come away with my mum's bits and bobs one as well. I'll need to give her that when I go fabric shopping at the weekend. I have made a little tub to put my threads in. And I really like this mannequin here that we managed to find. And it fits just perfectly on this side here. So I'll be putting all my threads in here. The back of it, which will be against the wall, actually already said cleaning on it, which I didn't notice when I bought it, but you won't see that anyway. It's really just about trying. My sewing room is also the spare room in the house, and it's about trying to remember, obviously, when we've got visitors and stuff, I want to be able to move all my sewing stuff away and it be a nice bedroom, a nice environment for visitors to sleep in. One of my husband's big bugbears in life is chargers. We have got chargers for everything. The iPads, the Nintendo Switch, the phones, everything in the house seems to have a different charger. And at the minute they all end up in a basket in our cupboard. I'm just looking outside, there's a delivery outside. At the minute they all end up in the sweet basket in the cupboard in the kitchen. I don't know why, it's just where they've always ended up. So to go in the same cupboard, I've made a nice charger box. It seems to really confuse my husband how there's different chargers for everything, and some things the same charger fits. So it's just trying to make the house a bit more organised and a bit more grown up, to be honest. And then this one's just going to sit on my windowsill for when I'm sewing for my scraps. I've got a few in it already. I am quite guilty of just ending up with scraps all over the floor, all over the bed beside me. So hopefully this will get me a bit more tidied, and as I say, it means that if we do have any visitors, Stephen's brother lives down in London, if we have any last minute visitors, it should be easy just to kind of move everything out of the way and turn the room into a bedroom again. Just before we left to come home, my mum had ordered some infusible ink, which is different to the vinyl on a Cricut, which you basically stick the vinyl on top of your fabric and heat it and it glues on, whereas the infusible ink is more like a dye that goes into the fabric. So we wanted to give it a try, so we decided to do it on my Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa top, which I had never put a pocket onto, and if you see, I'll try and hold it up close there. So we did this kind of mandala effect. You'll see up here I missed a bit of it when I was heating it in, but all the reviews we said not to give it a second lot of heat. So we just left it. It's the first one we tried, and I think it turned out really well, and it's wearable for me. I don't know if you follow the Specky Seamstress, but one of Laura's sayings is that wearable is okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you can wear it and as long as you're comfortable wearing it. That's all that matters, and I'm quite comfortable to wear this. And I've made one more thing on the Cricut. My big sister, and again I hope she doesn't read this because otherwise she knows what she's going to be getting at Christmas time this year. I'm determined to get ahead of myself for Christmas this year. My sister reads a lot. She reads constantly. So I found this on, I think it was the Patterns for Pirates website. So my weekend is completely booked. So I'm going to get a nice plain night dress or something, or a jammy top, and iron that on as part of her present, probably from Lewis, probably her auntie present rather than her main present, just to keep her going. So that's everything I've been making recently. I've got a few things on the go at the minute. I've got a nice pair of Lander pants. I'm just going to get one of the pattern pieces up. So I'm making a pair, but they're in the shorts. I'm making the True Bias Lander pants. I'm going to make the short version. I thought this tartan would be quite nice at Christmas time, with a nice pair of glittery tights or something like that to dress it up. So they're on the go. I've not got as much mojo with them, to be honest. I've had to make the biggest size for them, and even then I think my measurements fit and no more. So I think they're kind of at the bottom of the pile, just because I don't know if it's even going to fit. And the other things I've got cut out at the minute are both things from the BTHQ, from the sewing group, the sewing club, and one of them is a Vivian project bag. I'll try and get a piece out for you. But I'm calling it a project bag. It's called the Vivian project. It'd be quite nice for fitting projects in. So it's this nice robin fabric. So it's just a drawstring. It's like a quilted drawstring bag, but it'll be good. It's a good size to put wee cut out projects, like sewing club projects and quilting projects that I'm working on. It's not really big enough for garments, for cut out garments, but it's certainly big enough for quilting projects that I'm working on. Oh, this pile beside my bed's getting very big. And the last thing I'm working on is the Choose Your Own Adventure, which again is a Beautiful Things Sewing Club make. And I've only just started it, but a lot of it, Claire encourages you to do like messy quilting, like funky, crazy quilting, crazy fabric. So doing all your patchwork, keeping all your scraps, sewing them all up to make a big massive piece of material, and then working your way through it. So I've not started to put it together yet, but wanted to show you the main piece because again we've used the cricut and I've written project bag on there, so that'll be one of the front parts of it. I've not read the instructions, so I really hope the handles don't go anywhere near that. I think I've left enough space for seam allowances and stuff around it, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This is the first time I've made it. It's just a project bag for myself, it's not a gift, so we'll see how it goes. I am going to put a mesh pocket on the side for a water bottle as well. That's really where I'm at the minute. I've started making, this is the other thing I made using my SewHayleyJane. It's actually to make a pair of jammies, but this is the Ogden cami that I've used for the top. I find that the Ogden cami is not really long enough for me, so I've added 1.5 inches on, but still felt I was a bit wary about how much I would bring up for the seam allowance. So instead of doing a bigger seam allowance, you'll see I've used this really cool ribbon to kind of band it at the bottom. I got that out of the SewHayleyJane box, and I've put a nice wee "You've Got This" label in. Can you see that? You've got this. And again, that came out my SewHayleyJane box. So I've got enough from the piece from my SewHayleyJane box. I've got enough for the piece to make a pair of shorts out of that. And my mum also subscribes to SewHayleyJane, but she wasn't convinced she would really use that fabric for anything, so I've snaffled it. And I'm going to make like a kimono cover up to wear with it, so that it means that if we go away to like Stephen's parents or anything, I can put my jammies on and put like a dressing gown on just to cover myself up a wee bit, especially in the mornings. Lewis gets up quite early in the morning. It means I can just chuck that on, take him through to see his granny and granddad, and then go and climb back into bed for an hour. Make the most of having some childcare. That's kind of all my news at the minute. I am hoping to come back on a bit more often than what I have been doing. I know I've neglected everybody, and I have really missed keeping in touch and being active with my sewing. And I definitely feel like now that we're starting to get life back to a bit more normality, I feel like I've got a bit more time in my mind and a bit more space just to get on and really enjoy sewing again. It's Lewis's birthday at the start of September, and I am working on a Dundee United quilt for him. that's probably going to take up most of my time this month, to be honest, because I've not got very far with it. I started months ago, and it's been sitting in a box up on that shelf for ages. But that's what I'm working on this month, and I want to I've got up here, I don't know if you can see, it's just out of shot. My very first thing I ever made was a Tilly and the Buttons Cleo dress. And it's just coming towards the end of its life now. I made a lot of mistakes on it. I've learnt a lot of sewing lessons since then, and the quality of my makes are so much better now than they were then. So I want to have another bash at that, so I'm going to be looking out for a nice wee needle cord or baby cord to make that out of. I mean, you could use it with a kind of stretched denim, but I think with it coming into autumn and winter, I think I'd quite like a nice cord style one, and wear it with a long sleeve, maybe even a long sleeved cord top. So that's kind of what I'm on the lookout for. We're going fabric shopping with my mum and sister, as I say, at the weekend, and that's probably what's at the list of my priorities. I am starting to think about things that I can make at Christmas time. Well, that's the other thing. I've made a mug bag, again from the BTHQ sewing group. Really enjoy it. I find it's good value for money, and there's a really nice community page on Facebook as well, where you get support of the other members and see what everybody else has been making. So that's three beautiful things. I would definitely recommend going and having a look at it, especially if you like things like making bags and things like that. There are more projects. It's obviously not garment making, but it's nice to make other things as well. I would say I've never quite settled down into, a lot of the time you're either into quilt making or you're into garment making. I enjoy it all. So that's, you'll see that there's quite a wide variety of the things that I make, and I really enjoy quilting. Sometimes I don't have the concentration to make a garment, but I've got the concentration to make a patchwork quilt, things like that. So I've seen my sewing style is it's definitely not settling into one or the other. I hope to be coming back on next week or so, show you what I've been up to. Hopefully I'll have them Landa pants finished, and I might even have started working on the shorts to go along with the Ogden cami there. We can't be far off actually the next SewHayleyJane box, and that's maybe a couple of weeks away, 2 weeks away. And I'll give you a bit of an update from my sewing shopping trip at the weekend. If you've got anything you'd like to see me talking about, any suggestions, anything you think I could be making, please do leave it in the comments below. Please hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and also go check me out on Instagram at Nicolawmakes. Again, I've really neglected that over the last few months, and hopefully start getting a lot more put up on the page from that as well. Thanks for watching, take care everyone, I hope you're all safe, and again I hope you're all starting to enjoy that little bit more freedom that we've got, getting life a little bit back to normality, or as far as what we're going to be for a wee while yet anyway. And I'll see you soon, thanks for watching, bye!